Well, all right, people. I have not made a video here on wrestling in quite a while because, quite frankly, I feel like there really isn't much to talk about since John Cena retired, from a casual fan perspective of myself, at least. But with WrestleMania 42, I believe it is approaching, I've just lost count at this point. They all mesh together. All the shit just meshes together at this point. But I want to talk about the kind of the irrelevancy of WrestleMania 42. It just feels like a bunch of mid card matches thrown together. It just feels like a random pay per view. It doesn't feel like anything special. The only match that you could argue has some big stars is like the CM Punk Roman Reigns match. And I would make the argument even those two people are not at the level of like an Undertaker or a Stone Cold Steve Austin. Those are the only two people you could make the argument WWE has made into big stars since about 2008. And that's quite embarrassing that in the span of 15 to 20 years, these are the only two people that are possibly big stars. And don't give me the argument like somebody like a Seth Rollins is a big. He's not a big star like a Stone Cold. That's what I mean. Somebody at the level of a Stone Cold. And I see local. I actually came across a video on YouTube yesterday. I've actually deleted all social media, pretty much. I just feel like it's kind of toxic, so I deleted Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that, and I still go on YouTube. So I'm not as in tune now as I used to be, and that's probably a good thing because there's a lot of BS on Twitter and other social media sites. But I saw a video on YouTube talking about declining ticket sales of WrestleMania. And this is like the big headline that the news sites are promoting going into, and a lot of wrestling fans are talking about too. But this is a big headline: is ticket sales, not about matches, not about feuds, not about this person is doing this, wrestler is doing this. It's about ticket sales, which is quite embarrassing from WWE's perspective that this is a big headline. And I see people complaining that the ticket prices are a lot higher than they used to be years ago, and that's true. But that's kind of like all ticket sales are now higher, whether that be sporting events, especially concerts. Well, I don't know too much about sporting events, but especially concerts, like ticket sales are through the roof. So it's kind of like all ticket sales are going up, whether we like it or not. I don't know why. I'm not an expert on that. So I'm not like too big into bashing WWE on that. Like if they can sell it for that price, like you would from a business perspective, and even if you do decrease the prices, can't people just resell them, like buy them at a low price and then resell them for that higher price? So I'm not too big on bashing WWE for that, but it is kind of annoying, I would say, from the average person's perspective, somebody that makes 40, 50, $60,000 a year, when you see these ticket prices are hundreds if not thousands of dollars, it is an inconvenience. But take this as a blessing in disguise, because who in their right mind would want to waste their time spending days in a random city, buying a hotel, take a plane, and then sitting through this terrible card? Who would spend, whether the ticket prices are $50, $100, $150, $200, whatever? It's not worth it. Even if the ticket was like $2, I wouldn't go because it's not worth my time. Even if the ticket was free, I wouldn't waste my time. I would be out doing some more productive shit than watching this terrible card. So take this as a blessing in disguise. Take this as a message from God to do something better with your life. And even if you did go to this WrestleMania, you're going to be surrounded by a bunch of smelly losers, too. Let's just be quite honest about it. The average WWE fan is a loser. Who in their right mind spends hours and hours and hours of their day, hours and hours of their week watching this? I mean, if you're on a date with a girl and you go, yeah, I watch 10 hours of wrestling per week, she's going to look at you like she's crazy. You're not going to get laid. Let's just be quite honest about it. And yeah, this card is just, there's no excitement. There's no intrigue. Nobody really cares like they did like last year with John Cena. So the only way people care about WrestleMania, the only way WrestleMania gets any excitement now is if they have to poach a star from the Attitude Era or the Ruthless Aggression Era and insert them into the card. That's the only way that WrestleMania gets any sort of headlines or big attention, which comes back to the point that I make so often again is today is that WWE does not know how to build new stars. I don't know what they got to do, but they got to do something fast. When Gunther went over Cena 3 or 4 months ago, they should have built him up, started building him up as a new star, but he's faded into irrelevancy. So you had a chance there. Like Cena's last match, if you put somebody over Cena, that person could start to be built as a big star. But they lost that opportunity. And so many opportunities where they could have built a new star or at least started to build a new star have been ruined by this company. And we see it time and time again. For example, putting somebody over Undertaker to end his streak. Or putting somebody over Kurt Angle at his retirement match. So you have all these opportunities to build new stars, but they just continue to waste them. And now, as each year goes along, you're starting to see this problem intensify as people from the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression Era can no longer physically wrestle, like Goldberg or Undertaker. You start to see this problem manifest itself even more and more and more because they're running out of Band-Aids to put on this problem. So there's my thoughts on WrestleMania. Nobody cares about it. Nobody. I mean, I wouldn't say nobody, but just in general, the excitement for WrestleMania has significantly decreased. And I will not be watching it. I will not even be watching it. The highlights, it's not even worth my time. Wrestling is not worth my time. And I would advise everybody to not watch this either. Go do something better with your life. Yeah, maybe check it out on YouTube after the fact. Spend maybe like 5 minutes max watching the highlights, but that's all. That's probably what I'll do. I might come across a video on YouTube and click on it, and and watch it in passing. Watch it while I'm doing something else. So so I feel more productive in life. But there you go, people. There's my thoughts on WrestleMania 42. Let me know what you think in the comments below.